Hey, this is Mrs. Halley, and today we're going to be looking at 8th grade Unit 9, which is all about scatter plots. And I'm just going to put everything into this one video. How to create a scatter plot, how to draw a line of best fit, how to write an equation for line of best fit, and then how to use it. So it's all going to go together. Now we've got some goals here. I can construct a scatter plot from data. That's the first thing we're going to work on. And then I can use a scatter plot to find the line of best fit of a data set. And then I can use the line of best fit to draw conclusions about the data set. So we're going to start with the process of actually making a scatter plot. To make your scatter plot, you first want to construct your graph. So you're going to use graph paper. You're going to have your x-axis and y-axis. You need to label everything and put your units. Then you want to plot the data. And finally, you're going to look for trends and draw a line of best fit. So here I have my data. So I'm looking at hours of sleep compared to the math test score. We have 10 students here who had a range of hours that they slept, and we're going to be looking at their test scores when compared to how long they slept. So here I've set up, there's my data over here. I've set this up so I have hours of sleep on my x-axis, test score on my y, and then up here student test scores. And you notice I start with 0, oopsies. I start with 0 on both of them. That is important for the scatter plot, just for whenever you're writing your line of best fit. So I'm just going to start plotting my data. So 9 hours of sleep, they had a test score of 93%. So here's 9 hours of sleep. 93 is going to be about here. 5 hours of sleep, they got a 70%. So 5 hours of sleep, 70%. And 6 hours of sleep, 77%. And then I would just keep doing this. So on the next screen, I've gone ahead and I've finished this up. So here's my scatter plot. Now this scatter plot has what we call a positive correlation. In this case, as the hours of sleep increase, the test score increases. For the most part, we have a general upward sloping. Now I can look, we can find examples of a negative scatter plot. That would be where it goes down. We could also look at a no correlation, where there's really no relationship. An example of, let's see, a no correlation would be comparing things like your number of siblings to the test score in math. It doesn't matter if you have no siblings or 10 siblings. That's not going to affect your test score. Let's see, a negative correlation. Of course, I can't think of an example right now, but I should have one for you tomorrow in class. In a negative correlation, we would start off high, and then we'd go down low. So as your x value increases, your y value would decrease. So maybe it would be the amount of money you have based on the time that you spend at the mall. The more time you spend at the mall, the less money you have. Okay, so here we're going to, now we want to draw a line of best fit. So here's my trend, and it's trending upwards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a line, and I'm going to draw it so I can fill in, and it's kind of going in between or on all of these points. So I'm going to draw it maybe about here, maybe a little bit higher there. That I'm going to say is my line of best fit. And I'm going to make this a little bit darker so you can see it. So here you can see it's generally going with the pattern. Now I do have this one dot that's out here. I know that. I've got these tend to be higher, but this is my line of best fit. And what I can do is I can extend my line of best fit out to my y-axis. And that's kind of what I did here. Now here you can see my line of best fit is slightly different. Line of best fit's kind of a best guess, so I drew it a little bit shallower there. It's a little bit steeper here. Now what I want to do is I want to draw my, or find my equation. So remember we have y equals mx plus b. So, oops. Here, m is my slope. So I look for two places where my line crossed this grid perfectly. To move up, I'm going up 10, 20, 30, 40, because remember this is counting by tens, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 40 over 5, that gives me a slope of 8, because remember rise over run. Rise up, run out. So I have a slope of 8, And then my y-intercept, it's down here. I put a little red dot there. It's at about 25. So I said my b is 25. Obviously here on this line, my slope and my y-intercept would be slightly different. I've got a slope of 10, 20, 30 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be a slope of 6, and then a y, obviously my y-intercept is a little bit higher. So drawing where you draw your line of best fit is going to adjust your equation. But I'm going to go with this, y equals 8x plus 25. And then I can use that to predict a student's score if they slept for 4 hours. I can look 4 hours. They're about here, maybe 58. I can plug it into my equation. 8 times 4 is 32, plus my y-intercept 25 is 57%. And so I can use that to make predictions. Now, we will definitely be going over this tomorrow, so if you've got questions, bring them then.